Hey everyone, today I thought I'd show you how I do some free motion quilting on these scrappy log cabin blocks that I'm turning into pillows for my couch. So these blocks are 18 inches square, and I have a video that I have already shared about how to make these log cabin blocks from your scrap strips. So it's a really fun project. These go together pretty quick. What I've done is spray basted these onto some batting, some scrap batting, and then I've just taken some scrap cotton for the backing. This is an old bed sheet. It's going to be on the inside of my pillow, so I don't actually care what the backing looks like. It's just to get a nice clean finish on the inside and to help keep the block a little bit more stable as I go through. So I am free motion quilting some loop-de-loops on these. You can see this is one that I have already done, and there's the back. So they're pretty fun. I have 4 in total, so I can make 2 pillows from back. So what I'm doing here, I have my free motion quilting foot on, and I have my stitch length set to 0 as I normally would. I sew on my Juki, so I do have a speed control, so I am using that at about half speed so I can control a little bit more of what I'm doing. I'm using a 50 weight cotton thread from Connecting Threads. It's silver colored, it's sort of a light gray color. And these are my quilting gloves. They're just gardening gloves from the hardware store. They were like $3, and they have so much more grip than any quilting gloves I have purchased in the past. So I really like these ones. I hardly even have to put pressure on the quilt because these do most of the work for me. So let's get started. I like to work from one side to the other and move my hands as I go. So there's very little starting and stopping. There's no burying of threads, and I just think that's the most efficient way to do it. So as you can see, as I make my way across, I do try to keep my row of curly cues pretty even. I'd say it's about 2 inches in height, and I'll do several of those making my way down the quilt. I don't necessarily go all the way to the edge here because I'm going to end up having a seam allowance of a ½ inch when I do my pillow. But I do try to get pretty close to the top, and I'm not really worried about my loops being consistent. I'm just kind of going with whatever my hands and the machine want. So sometimes they'll be a little more narrow, sometimes they'll be a little fatter, smaller, skinnier, taller, whatever, and I just kind of go with it. So I'm going to bump down a couple of inches to start my next row. So you'll notice that I just sort of scoop my hands as I go, and I'm also making sure not to hit the loops from the row above as I work my way down. So sometimes there's a bigger gap than others, just sort of depends on where they meet up. I'm not necessarily trying to like meet the middle of each loop, but I do try not to get too close to help space things out a little bit. Okay, all done. Hopefully you can see that yummy texture. And that's what the back looks like. So I hope you're inspired to try some scrappy log cabin blocks and some really fun quilting designs. I think this is a really nice design for these blocks, especially because Most of these are a little bit wonky and sometimes warped, and you know, you're using up a lot of scraps, so it's not going to be perfect. So doing something like straight lines would only accentuate the fact that a lot of your lines are not truly straight. So doing sort of a free-form design like this really helps to just get an overall texture on the block so that you look at the colors and the patterns and not so much about the accuracy of your sewing. Happy sewing, everyone!